What's going on, everybody? This is Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord, and as you met on Mike Zuber's channel, actually you met her here first, but just for a very brief showing, Mrs. Lumberjack,
Hello.
Ashley. So we're super excited to be here, super excited to help people. There's less shouting here, just because Ashley doesn't like shouting. But that's why we do. That's why I do live stream with two other guys, or by myself, where I'm locked in here. So super excited to have you guys here. Pretty low key. It's 8 o'clock at night, and for those of you who have young kids or have had young kids, yeah, that's why it's going to be low key on Thursday nights. So we're going to try Thursday nights, see if it's a good fit. But the purpose of this show and the purpose of us kind of hanging out here with you guys is we want to answer questions, certainly from a couple's perspective, from a real estate perspective. You still have, Ashley knows a lot of the back end stuff, and she knows a lot of the property management side of things too. But just wanted to make sure that we made ourselves available, because what we found in this kind of journey over the last year is that there's a lot of couples where there's a person like me, but there's a person like Ashley used to be. And so one of the things we wanted to make ourselves available for is to kind of give people a place that where there might be a difference in concepts or ideas or what people feel like they want to do from a real estate investment perspective. We wanted to be here to answer questions. And so you can kind of see the dialogue that we have about it. Then you guys can have the dialogue about it. And that's kind of our hope. So we didn't really come prepared to discuss anything other than answer folks' questions. But we wanted to make sure to make ourselves available to answer your questions, because I think it's really important that, we're a better team because we're both on the same page. Yeah. And when she's not on my side, then I tell her that she has to be on my side because that's what's better for the business. So I think the other thing too is that, I think Ashley feels, Ashley feels better about properties because I can kind of walk through the way that I'm seeing them, and then she can ask kind of questions on that. So, So anyway, so that's what we're here for. So we'll start off real quick. So Tiffany White, good evening. Back at you, Tiffany. Super excited to have you here. By the way, Tiffany, I checked out your channel. It's very cool. If you guys are into fish at all or, aquarium stuff, I checked out your channel. Totally admit it. I like to look up folks that are watching us. I like to look up what they're doing. And I saw your channel, thought it was super cool. And so I've actually shown the kids too. They like watching the fish go around. So pretty cool stuff. So good channel. Dion, Amy, good to have you guys here. Good evening. Eli Colner. Yeah, it feels super risky at the start. Oh yeah, this is totally risky. Yep. There's like a 50-50. We'll have an argument after this. No.
What was our last real argument?
Yeah, we
just don't.
Yeah, we really don't argue. It's kind of fun. If it feels like an argument starting, I actually just pull back and figure out a different strategy of how to discuss the topic. And then it works out fine. So that's usually the way to do it. Chester William. Dignora Amy. Oh, hello. I'm expecting that's probably Dion's wife, maybe. Just let me know if it's not. Chester Williams, when did Ashley get on board with you on the real estate journey? So I did. So my very first property was a condo house hack. My second property was a house that I purchased to rehab and then rent out. My third was a triplex. My fourth was a triplex. My fifth was a house on a lake that at the time I was going to do vacation rentals with, fix up and do vacation rentals with. And then I think number 6 was a single family house that I was going to hack. And so Ashley and I then we started dating after I bought that house. So then after I bought number 6, we started dating. And then we got married, and that was still number 6. So kind of from 6 on, and now we're at 30 something.
Yeah, but I didn't, I think, buy in
Oh
to
yeah,
the
buy
vision.
in. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah. So
yeah, like
get on board.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was probably
that took a long time.
12 or 13. 12 or
Yeah,
13?
I think it's better to in years.
Yeah. So it's like we did.
So
we did what? We did so Grove you weren't.
I would say
Everett you definitely weren't. Freeman you weren't. Hill you weren't. Belknap?
No.
No.
I still hated you at Belknap. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't hate him. No, I would say I would say toward the end of Belknap. When we first moved into Belknap, I was kind of like I just kind of figured that the properties were going to be more of a stressor to us. And I didn't really see the long-term benefit of it. I just saw the immediate need that they took at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it took maybe 4 years. I think 4 years into it, I was still on board. Like I still loved him. We were in this together as a marriage. So I was going to be a team player. But I think after 4 years, I really started to see, oh my gosh, this has such great long-term effects and long-term goals. And then it started reaping in a ton of rewards at that point because it was getting bigger, that I realized this is amazing. This is really working. This is a really great trajectory for our family. And we were able to help people get rentals that, were having housing issues. And we were able to actually affect the lives of other people, that it really became a huge blessed. I loved it. And then I was like, okay, this is what, So it took maybe about 4 years.
It's okay. You can say blessing.
Yeah. I mean, sorry. I didn't mean to stop, but it took about 4 years. And then I saw I was seeing the fruits of what it was doing and the long-term goal. And it was great. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And it was, in the first few, it was every single time something went wrong, she was miserable about it.
I told you we shouldn't have bought this property.
Exactly.
This is why I didn't want this house.
Exactly. It's true. I love you, but you're wrong. Yeah.
I was wrong. I was 100% wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And so it's good, but it was, so that's a great question, Chester. It was probably, we were probably married at that point for 7 years, 7 or 8.
Before I really got on board?
Yeah.
I would say 4 years it started snowballing, and then
it was
6 years.
Okay. Yeah, not 7. Not to be confused with 7. It was more like 6. Yeah, it's definitely more like 6. Yeah, not 7. It was 6. Anyway, all right. So Tiffany White. Wow, thanks. Oh, you're welcome, Tiffany. Cool channel. Like I said, I dig it. And the kids loved it too. I'm just watch the fishies. Let's see. Tiffany. Yep. Eli. No, I mean the process of buying property. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Dion. Yep. Okay. Dignora. Excellent. You are Dion's wife. Perfect. Awesome. We love having couples here. We think it's awesome. We want to share our entire journey with you guys, and we want to just know what's important to you guys. So feel free to ask anything. We'll answer pretty much anything.
I'm an open book.
Sort of. Unless I stop her. Be like, no, don't talk about that. REI Trainer. Hello to you both. Good evening, REI Trainer. Don and Bev Perkins, 50-50. That's high. I need to learn that pullback strategy. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it was Ashley and I so most couples are kind of 60-40. We're 90-10. So I'm the alpha super aggressive, and she's really laid back. Really laid back. Well, I can make that joke. And so I think the challenge is always I can see on my wife's face, and it's kind of knowing your partner. I can see my wife's face. I can see when she's getting stressed out when I'm telling her a story. And for me, water off a duck's back, I don't care, whatever. But for Ashley, I can see it kind of getting really hard, and seeing it stress her out, and where she's chewing her lip and tapping on the counter, and it gets or squeezing the kids a little harder if she's holding one of them. Mommy, my legs, mommy, my legs. But I think that, I think a lot of it now, it's kind of they really, if you're that real estate leader in the family, they also cue a little bit off of your energy and kind of your, how you're reacting to the situation. We've had a couple situations that were big deals, and there was just no way to not treat it like a big deal. It was just a big freaking deal. And so like when we got the lead order, she knew that I was stressed out because it was just completely out of left field. Just, it was going to mean major financial issues for us. And so she certainly saw that. One was something else. Lead order was one. We had a tenant that we just got out. Yeah, we had a tenant that we just got out after they had not paid rent since September of 2020. And so that was over a year-long journey to get them out. And they were purposely doing things, pouring bacon grease down the drain, running out of oil in the system. And then, they fraudulently called and got the electric change back into our name because it defaults to our name when somebody says they're moving. Then they didn't move. And so then we were paying it, but then we couldn't get it back into the tenant's name. So that was kind of a stressful time just because it was like, then they called and fraudulently talked about a fall down the stairs because a light was out, but then they still chose to walk down the stairs. So it was just a bunch of goofy stuff that was with them. And I don't want to say it was necessarily like a stressful time. It was more just like, what annoyance were they going to create? And I think that of all the, we have 90-ish units, we have 160, 170 tenants. And so, for one tenant to be double-digit percentage of the amount of disruption we have, that means you're a pretty bad tenant. So, yeah. So that was a stressful time. I think. Yeah, in stride is what it is. Don Trudeau. Hi guys, Berwick, Maine here. Hey, Don. Berwick, Maine. So Berwick, Maine is, for those of you who don't know from our market, Berwick is probably, depending on what part of Berwick, like anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes away. So Berwick is right next door. We're right on the border of New Hampshire and Maine. And so Berwick is right next door.
A hop, skip, and jump.
It is. It's that exactly. Invest to Wealth. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack. Good evening. Matthew Duprell. Cool concept for the couples show. We'll definitely watch the recorded version with my spouse later. Yep. Thanks for going live, Lumberjacks. Anytime. And if there's questions in here that you want to make sure that we answer for your spouse so you know that it's worth it for them to watch, please feel free to ask those questions. And then that way they can see two things. One, that will answer their questions. And two, there's really no judgment. We've walked the entire full, journey together. After my first 6, we walked the rest of that journey. And funny because I think I only own one of those 6 houses anymore. We only own one of those Governors. So
I was going to say we don't own any.
We've sold 5 out of those 6 that were the originals, but those dollars, whether 1031 exchange or any number of different, investment vehicles, whatnot, we've actually used those and parlayed those into additional properties. So they've all led to additional property purchases. We don't ever really exit real estate. We more move funds from one property to another when we sell and decide to get out of a specific property based on any number of different things. But the other thing too is, so when Ashley was going through, as you guys might have seen in Mike Zuber's interview with her, when Ashley was going through nursing school, one of the things that we did was we made sure she didn't have a job, but she needed to still kind of help out. Kind of one of the things for our family is not equal pay, but equal sacrifice. And so we talk a lot about equal sacrifice. It was a much bigger thing. We didn't have kids. And now it's like, well, of course I would much rather be home with the kids, hanging out with them on a Saturday morning than out fixing something. But usually that will fall to me. The nice thing is that with Ashley being kind of the real estate professional of the family, she'll go out, she'll do stuff during the week with the kids. So she'll wait until the baby will do it out for a nap and the other 2 will be available. She can go in and do stuff and just kind of sit there and do stuff with them, if it's depending on what the project is. So that makes it kind of nice as well. So we don't just do it where it's her just showing up at the property and working or me just showing up at the property and working. We actually bring our kids involved as well. We want them to grow up working, seeing us work, instilling values in them about hard work. And if you don't work, you don't get paid. And they'll all work for the business at one time or another. in some capacity or another. That's not going to be their choice, because I know that I'll be hard on them to make sure that they become good workers. So yeah, happy to do it. So yeah, feel free with any questions. Dion, you guys are taking Michael's course right now. Awesome. It's a great course. It really is. It's a great course. I truly, honestly believe it is the most valuable course on the internet. For $300, you guys can't beat it. You just can't beat it for $300. I think there's going to be over 90 hours of coursework in there. When it's all said and done, I haven't taken all the coursework. There's stuff that if I like think I want to do something or don't want to jump in and look at something, I do that. So that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, they do a great job. And Ash has not taken that course because I'm kind of more the research and buy side, and she's more of the spends time on the balance sheet and back office type of stuff right now. So Don and Bev Perkins, what convinced you to buy in? Was it just seeing the cash flow or long-term benefits, or were there some other factors?
So I think I've mentioned it before that Matt was really good at casting the vision and kind of, so that really did help me see the long-term benefits. And that was a huge rope in where I knew we would have a retirement and that it would be a safe bet for us for the long term. And I think that was really good. I think it initially was long term, then cash flow started coming in. That was really beneficial. That I was like, oh, this is nice. But also, I think Matt did a great job at getting me in the properties. Like we said, I did the stuff when I was in nursing school, and I would go into the properties, and I was the one that would change minor plumbing and faucets and things. And then I think also just having a pride of ownership and saying, oh, I did that, or, that's my house. And then we've been able to help out some people with units or families that needed a transition rental before they bought their house, and being able to see how a business could also help other people was just really that was like the seal the deal, hook, line, and sinker. But I would say started the long-term effects, long-term benefits was great.
I agree. I was awesome at casting that vision.
You really were though.
Yeah, I knew I had to get her on board because I was going to keep on buying. So I knew I had to get her on board somehow.
And I was either going to cry or enjoy it.
It's true. It was mostly, in the beginning, it was a lot of crying. We used to joke about the fact that I could tell if it'd been kind of a rough month because the hot water bill would be way too high.
I used to cry in the shower and get out all my emotion. And I would just like, but then at the end of a nice long shower with a lot of tears.
A long shower. A long electric hot water tank shower. Extremely expensive. Yeah.
My logic would return to me.
I think therapy would have been cheaper.
No, my logic would return to me, and we could have a conversation without me being emotional. And I was very logical, and it worked out beautifully. And now I have grown up, and I don't need that crutch anymore.
Thank God. Yeah, that was expensive for a while.
John
Trudeau, question for y'all. I'm struggling with getting my wife on board with getting a new rental or two. She's a worker, and I'm a business owner. Yep. So business owners, right? We naturally get it. It's just naturally get it. What you put in, you get out. If you're doing something that's not giving you a return on your investment of time, then you stop doing it. And so for nurses, Ashley being one, that's very, very different. Because when you're there at work, you're there working and you're 100% all in. But as soon as you walk out the door, it's off. When you're a business owner or a property owner or a landlord, it's availability. And so that can be sometimes a thing that scares them.
I don't have an entrepreneurial bone in my body.
True.
Naturally.
True.
I naturally do not have an entrepreneurial bone in my body. I am a worker. I am an hourly, you go in, you punch your clock, and then you leave, and then you have weekends and holidays and all these fun things. And he is the long-term strategy and I'm in let's enjoy the moment, which is why we're great together because we balance each other out, and why he had to keep casting the vision for me because I am in the moment and let's just enjoy Saturday. And if we didn't have these properties, we would just have like one nice house that would be manageable, and then we wouldn't be having to work on our weekends, and we wouldn't have to whatever. And I think in the beginning that was the mindset I had to switch out of was, well, why can't we just have like one home and just put money away, and then just have our weekends and enjoy all our moments right now, not realize. And then he just kept showing me we might be investing time now, but we're investing time now while we're young, while we can do this. We're investing time now so that we can have such a greater future. Like our future is going to be so much greater. And he just kept showing where the business could go. And he started basically developing my entrepreneurial bones. And he started like showing me this is where we're going to go. And it's going to be so much greater than if we just stay in this little bubble. Yes, it's work now. And there are some things that are going to be challenging now. We will have some stressors now, but we will get past them. And our future will be so much brighter and so much freer. And he was absolutely right. Our future right now is just way better than if we had been in like a mid-sized home, soaking up all resources.
So much brighter. We got to wear shades. It's a song.
Oh,
See the
okay.
age gap difference?
Okay.
It's an 8-year age gap difference.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, it's an age gap difference on those songs. It is what it is. So do you have any ideas on how to get her on board? Was the rest of Dawn's question. I think that invite her to the group, invite her to the live stream. Let's talk about it. What are her concerns? I think that every individual has their concerns, and those concerns are based on how they grew up, what their experiences was with their parents' business, maybe even your business. Like we've seen some business owners that are amazing, that grow. We've also seen some business owners that have had some rough luck and they've had a business or two go out of business. And then they've been really successful with their third business because maybe they learned or maybe they picked the right thing. We've seen mixes of those things. And so I think it's, a lot of times it's people are happy with good enough. And I think that good enough is okay for a lot of people. Just for us, the expectation that I have of me and that I have of Ashley and that I have of our kids is that we are to work to the skills that we have, that we were blessed with. And so, as I always say on Mike's channel, there's no better time to monetize your gifts, talents, and abilities. And so I was really good at my job. I really enjoyed my job, but I recognized that there were a lot of guys in their 40s doing my job that were completely burned out, completely fried. They were still on planes doing 100,000 miles a year. And for me, I wanted to be around Ashley and I want to be around the kids and be a home dad, where I didn't miss my kids growing up and I didn't want us to struggle, through that phase. And so this was all very, very, very orchestrated. It was not by mistake. It was not an accident. It was not we got lucky. It was a clear and consistent choice on a daily basis to do the things that we needed to do to put ourselves in a better position to not have to be 65 or 70 years old and still working or maybe potentially having to work.
Like doing bedside nursing, and there's bedside nurses that need to retire, but their back is burnt out, but they still have to do it. It's, it's nice that we won't have to be like that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So that makes sense. So Dawn, if that doesn't answer the question, feel free. If we ever don't answer a question wholly, please feel free, hit us back. Evolve Properties LLC. Thank you for doing that video the other night, Mrs. LL. I shared it with my wife and it was very helpful for her to hear your insight and she was impressed with your skills. Yeah. She is. So she's the only thing that I would recommend is if you're going to have her do electrical work, shut off a breaker.
Which I do now.
Yeah, she does now.
I do now.
Yeah, that first house is a little bit of a dog, but yeah.
I will say it is fun having skills because there are a lot of people not just women, but there are a lot of people that can't do certain things. And when you are not intimidated and you can do them, it's kind of like, oh, well, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
So it was kind of twofold. It was one, to spend time with her, to give her, A, it was time together.
Yeah.
You know, B, it was her willingness to learn and recognizing, hey, if you don't want to have another crappy job while you're going through school, you need to be able to help out with the business. And so if you're going to do that, you're going to have some skills in order to do that. So it was that. And then the third thing is then just spending time with her, doing the work and teaching her how to do it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, you know, bleeding an oil line on a furnace, being able to check if gas service is on, understanding if water needs to be added to a one pipe steam system. There's like a whole list of things that it was just like, okay, when we were married, but no kids, we would go out in the field and do it together. And even now, a lot of times it's kind of funny because we'll do the whole entire minivan. You'll see the minivan show up and the kids are in the back, and we're like kind of, you know, drawing straws on who's going to actually then go in and
jump out and do
whatever, you know? And so because she's the real estate professional, she's usually the one that jumps out and does it. You know, unless it's a uncomfortable conversation that has to be had with a tenant, and then I'm happy to do that.
That's him.
Yeah. Yep. I show up like this, and usually the conversation starts off with a different tenor, which is wrong. But we just deal with what.
Oh yeah. I just have to tell this quick story.
Yeah.
So one tenant was giving me a hard time, and he just kept giving me she kept giving me a hard time. And I like hung up. I was like, I just don't know what to do. Matt picks up. He's like, oh, I'll talk to her. 2 seconds into the conversation, I hear, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And I was like, ah! Matt just has that way on the phone.
So you have to leverage your strengths. You know, it doesn't mean it's like, there's nothing where I'm just throwing it on her and going, this is your issue. You just need to figure it out. If there's something that I can fix in 10 seconds that would take her a long time or not get a good result or one of those things, like I don't set her up for failure. Absolutely. And, you know, and some things I need to push a little bit and say, listen, you can do this. It's fine. You need to be able to do this. And then she'll, you know, fight through it and do it. So I think that's super important. Tom, I'm waiting to see Tom from the UK show up here because he keeps on telegramming me. So I think, hopefully that answers the question. But yeah, she's got great skills. Carl Motto Beats, any tips on getting through that I love you, but you're wrong stage? So I think, we say that now and we joke about it now. That's not what it was like in the moment. In the moment it was, okay, I hear your feelings. I hear your concerns, but let me show you numbers and facts, things that can't be argued with. They're facts. They're numbers. It's math. That's why I always just say it's just math. Because when we would have that conversation, I would say, you know what, is there risk? Sure. But it's just math. This is what the math shows, right? I think that was helpful.
Yeah, I think he also did a great job at really listening to my concerns and like drawing out the concerns from me, especially in the beginning. He would be like, okay, what really is bothering you? And we might have had to go around it a couple of times until I could really figure out what it was. And for me personally, some of it was actually just like cosmetic, or I'm like, it's like an ugly house and who's going to want to live there? And to me, that was going to show financial disaster, because if I wasn't going to live there right now, then who would actually live there? And Matt was able to address that. And then he was able to speak directly to my fears. That's just like one of them, but you know, like he was able to speak to it. So I think figuring out exactly what it is and then having to address it, and he was good at that. And then sometimes he just had to be a little pushy, I would say, at least for me and my personality. This is how it worked in our marriage. He had to be a teensy bit pushy and just say, no, we are going to do this and we have to do this as a family. This is the right move for our family, and I need you to trust me. And you know, he wasn't belligerent or anything, or just like, but he just say, I do need you to trust me. And he was able to pull on that because he had shown himself trustworthy. And I would just, all right, let's go with it. I'm going to trust you on it. And he was right.
It wasn't a push. It was more of a drag.
Push, drag, whatever. You were right. It worked out.
It
story written.
Yeah, exactly. Story written. It was a drag, but not a push. Evolved Properties. How's the baby's health? Baby's great.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby's good. So we're doing right now. She's going through the phase of chemo once a week, and so Ash goes down to Mass General Pediatrics and does the chemo with Eliana because still breastfeeding. And so I get the older two. I get the 3-year-old and our 4-year-old and 2-year-old. And so it's an interesting dynamic for sure. But yeah, we've been blessed. She's doing really well through treatment. For anybody that's dealt with chemo and cancer, she has her chemo days. She has her good days and her bad days. She has her pukey days and her, bone hurt days, and agitated days. But the rest of the time she's a normal 7-month-old, 8-month-old baby. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah. And everyone's been really happy with her response to the chemo. So we really couldn't ask for more. We have another scans in the beginning of next year. And
first week in January.
Yep, first week in January to make sure that everything is continuing the way that we want, which we have absolute faith that it's going to. I actually don't have any stress or fear about it.
Nope.
And I just couldn't ask for more. She's been awesome.
Yeah.
She's a trooper. She's a fighter.
She's hard. Yeah. She's tough. She's a tough baby for sure.
Tough chick.
For sure. So
gets it from him, not me.
Yeah. True. That's probably true. Don Trudeau, we are right up on Pine Hill. She's a nurse, is the same hangups as Ashley, thinking it will be a big hassle. So we know where Pine Hill is. So that's awesome. Totally get the thinks it will be a hassle thing. I mean, I think that, again, at the end of the day, it comes down to, do you want to spend the same amount of effort, the same amount of time in your life, and always having to kind of work for somebody else and and we all want financial freedom. We all want financial independence to kind of be able to make the decisions that we want to make. The nice thing for Ashley is when we had, baby number 3, it was the conversation that we could have, which was, okay, I think it's probably time that you stay home now. I mean, what are your thoughts? And she's like, yeah, I think I want to. It wasn't a thing for us. Like we didn't have to talk, well, can we do it financially? We didn't have to think about that at all. It didn't make a difference. It was like, we just got to make the decision that was best for our family. And thank God we did, because then it would have changed anyway come September with the baby's diagnosis. So so I think that we wanted to more dictate to life how it was going to go than have life dictate to us how it was going to go. Yeah. And so I think largely we've been able to do that. And we've been blessed to be able to do that because we've put the time in. So I was saying on Mike's show earlier when we did the 3 amigos, sure, we've had to leave, parties every once in a while. We've had to leave events every once in a while. We've had to not take a vacation every once in a while. It does impact steps in your life. But, I'm in my mid 40s. Ashley's in her mid 30s. And we kind of get to do whatever we want on a daily basis. I still have a W-2 job, but I could leave tomorrow if I had to.
I would say short term, it can seem like a hassle. Mm-hmm. That's not a lie. It can seem like a hassle short term until it's almost like for people like me, it's like exercising. You have to build this muscle and get used to doing it, and then you start getting used to it, and then it just doesn't seem like a big deal anymore. At first it seems like a hassle, it seems like a pain. You're getting out of a way of doing things that you pretty much have your whole life, or my life up until then. And then basically we've been doing it so long now, it's not even a big deal, and the rewards are now so much greater than the small inconvenience. Sure. So in the beginning, yes, it was a teensy bit of a hassle, but you work at it together. We built some amazing memories. I wouldn't go back and change them at all. They're some of my most cherished memories, us together building the business, and the rewards now are so much greater. It is absolutely worth going through it. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think the other thing too is that it matters how many units you get to. Mm-hmm. For now, for us, we don't have a property manager. We don't have a regular maintenance guy that we use or call. Mm-hmm. And we've got almost 100 units. So we found a way to manage it. I have a W-2. We have 3 kids, 4 years old and under. And we found a way to manage it. So there's certain things that we can go out in the field and take care of. There's certain things that, we instantly bring in the pro. But I think that, you can also talk about it and say, well, if it's not going to work out this way, what if we, brought on a property manager over some time, or just had like a backup for something if for some reason we couldn't get to something. I think that a lot of it it's an investment. And the way that I look at reaping a harvest or reaping the reward of an investment is it's all about how much seed you put in the ground and then how well you take care of that seed when it's in the ground to then get your harvest. And people can't be surprised when they're in their 50s and 60s and they're like, holy cow, we definitely don't have enough to retire on. And it's because we put our kids through college. We had them in private school. We had some dips in our careers over some time. I think that that's one of the things that's really important to us was we knew that, over a 10, 20, 30-year span, real estate speaks for itself. Look at what real estate's done in the last 30 years. Are there dips? Yep. Are there recessions? Yep. There are even sometimes great recessions. But I think that it's really, pretty powerful, pretty powerful way to create a business, manage it, work it together where where it is something that can grow without you constantly having to watch over it, if you will. Yeah. So, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Scott Coleman, Mrs. Lumberjack, you were outstanding on Zuber Show. And I told him that you needed to wear plaid and arrived in plaid. Yeah. She's short on plaid. I've got an overstock of plaid.
I need to invest in more plaid.
Yeah. So Duluth is pretty much everything I wear. Duluth Trading Company. Love their products. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's the best product out there. And that's with LL Bean being right in Maine. So I love Duluth product. Yeah, it's the best. Chester Williams, agree with you, Matt, that the growing up learning about REI builds that passion. My grandfather had a real estate investment, small business, and that kindled my intrigue early on. Yep. So my mom was a single mom, and I would go out to real estate showings with her because she wouldn't leave me home. So it was me and my sister. And she'd put us in the front seat, back seat, and have them in the car with us, or they would follow us in their car. And so we walked a ton of houses on Saturdays or open houses. We had to go hang out at the open house. And that was before cell phones and Game Boys and all the fun stuff that was available, that's now available to be able to do that stuff where you're not bored to tears. So it was brutal. But then I knew I wanted nothing to do with that. But then after I started making money in tech, I was like, what am I going to do with my money? Because I didn't like the stock market. I got crushed like Mike did. And I said, I got to do something different. And so I started looking at real estate. Yeah, that's how it happened. So let's see. Scott Coleman, nope, already did that one. Sorry. Nope, already did that one. Carl Motto Beats. Matt, was there any point during Ashley's hesitant stage that made you doubt yourself? Nope. It was math. Don't doubt the math. It's just math. So there wasn't. I'd already done 6. So I already knew what the power of the numbers were. I already knew what that looked like. And so even with the Great Recession, and that's when we were getting killed. Like we literally, like that September, we got hit with a lead order. We got every tenant that we had stopped paying rent. It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. And I had a good job, but I was working my good job, busting my butt just to cover our nut. There is nothing comfortable about a $15,000 a month nut with all the mortgages for the rental properties and one person paying their $1,100 in rent. And so you got to make up 14 grand real dollars. That was not good. So thankfully I had credit cards. I had credit that we could kind of lean on and pull from while we had to do work and get people in units and do all that other stuff. And that was a really, really hard time. We almost went bankrupt 3 times. Where it was just like, all right, if I don't like actively manage this, and that was all from the Great Recession, if I don't actively manage this and aggressively manage this, it's all going to fall in on itself. And so it was just it was spinning plates. It was keeping all the spinning plates going. That was certainly stressful for Ashley. Certainly stressful for me, but yeah, I didn't sleep much for that year and a half. That was a tough year and a half. But here we are. Yeah, it's much better now. So yeah, didn't doubt myself. No, it was right. It was the math. Love the good enough analogy. Owning your own home and doing the rat race is good enough. Yep, the ORAT way is a path to better than good enough. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it was great. I mean, the reason why Mike and I kind of get along so well is because he kind of documented his journey, and it was a lot like my journey. And so it was understanding what a market was, understanding what good return was. He called it yield. I call it return on capital. Some people call it cash on cash, but the tenets are all the same, not tenants, people, tenants, principles are all the same, which is understanding what an average deal is, understanding what a good deal is, understanding what a great deal is. And the first few that I did, they were good deals. They weren't great deals. Is he good?
Yeah,
okay.
Good.
We've got baby monitors over here just in case, so we don't get a sneak attack, because the 4-year-old is in the I get up out of my bed phase, and then just pop in on mom and dad. Hey, how's it going? It's going well, thanks. Get back in bed. So yeah, so that's for sure true. It definitely comes down to, and the funny thing is that good enough is really not good enough. Good enough is, a lot of people think that their life is good enough and they're living paycheck to paycheck. They have less than $5,000 in savings, and it's a hard time. And now, especially if you get pushed out with like COVID, we've seen people getting pushed out with COVID. We've seen people getting pushed out with COVID, and what a nightmare. They're out of work for 14 days. That's most people don't have 14 days worth of leftover salary. So yeah, so this is one of those times where I think it's going to spur a lot of people onto not depending on the government, not depending on themselves. I think there's going to be a migration to both camps. Ones that say that's all right, government's still going to take care of it, and others saying, you know what, I'm not going to depend on them, I need to depend on myself, and that means I need to start doing some things differently in my life. So yeah, that's why I think that's going to go. Don Trudeau definitely help shed some light on it. Absolutely have her watch this. She'll be able to connect with a lot of what is being said. Cool. Yeah. And more than welcome to ask questions live. We're totally available for that. Happy to answer those questions live. We want to put our story out there so people can feel comfortable, that there is opportunity. So Corey Wark. Hey, Corey, I don't think I've seen your name before. Super excited to have you here. Where do you think the market is going generally? I'm looking at raising rents on tenants, wondering how much, charging $1,900 now, but market average is about $2,200 for similar properties. Your thoughts? So Dion Financial Talk, he's one of the guys that we do the 3 Amigos with. I think he did a fantastic job. So he did kind of the same thing that I do, except he's got a great video about it. I don't believe in doubling up on that stuff. It's like if they've covered something and covered it really well, I just push people to a place where they can find the data. And so Dion did a great video called the binder strategy. I would watch the binder strategy. We do something like that, where we basically just have the conversation with the tenant. Hey, are you planning on sticking around? If so, what are your thoughts? And kind of have that conversation with people, to see if they're going to renew. And then if they say, yeah, I'm thinking about renewing, say, okay, great. And we, having as many units as we do, we don't make it as formal as the binder process. But a lot of times we can tell them, hey, just so you know, in your area, upstairs is rented for this much, or downstairs is rented for this much. And it's almost always higher. And so I'll just have that conversation. If they say, oh yeah, it's not really something that's going to work for me. Okay, no problem. Then they know. And then I know that I'm going to raise the rent on the next person, but I'm actually going to raise it more. So I always just ask them at that point, I'm just say, so think about it. Let me know what your thoughts are. That's where we're going to be, rent wise. And then that's that. So,
we've had a lot of people then say, try to go find another place, and they can't.
That's right.
And then they'll come back. They're like, actually, I'm going to renew. That sounds fine. We've had multiple tenants where Matt's just like, okay, go look around and then let me know. And they come back and sign with us higher. I
think the key for me in doing that is we do it 60 to 90 days before. So we're not waiting until, 30 days before. We're actually trying to do that kind of 60 days before, give people some space to grow, some space to think about it, and get comfortable with the idea of either staying. So we had one couple that we raised rent on them twice. And then the third time that I told them that I was doing it, they're just like, nope, uncle, we're leaving. Bye. That was 31 and a half.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So where they were just like, yep, we're out. See ya. And so I think that hold on one second, guys. All right. So, yeah, live stream, you never know who's going to show up. So, yeah, I think for us, that was one of those things, and we don't begrudge them. We're totally fine if it's time for them to move on. We totally get it. All good. And quite frankly, I'm thrilled because we're going to get 40% more rent than what I even was going to allow them to stay for. So we tried to work with them, and it was good. It was a good non-stay. So Corey, I would look at Dion Financial Talk. I would look at his channel and I would look at his binder strategy, or you can augment it kind of like I did mine. Mine's a little bit different though, because I have so many units in the markets that we have. We've got 90 something units in 3 markets that are very close to each other and not a lot different than each other. So yeah, that's that piece. Karamato Beats. It's just math. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for these live shows, Matt. Been catching all of the replays and love the interview on Mike's channel, Ashley. Yep, this topic is super relevant to me and others for sure. Cool. Yeah, that's what we want to be, is relevant and help people where they're at. That's it. We recognize that we got through something that a lot of couples don't get through. And then worst of all is 10 or 15 years later starts the blame game. See, I showed you this house and we still do that, just so you know. We still do the blame game. I'm like, remember when we could have bought that? Yes. So there's been a few of those. What's the one that stands out the most in your mind?
See, I don't remember ever telling you not to do them. And you said I did, but I don't remember that. So we usually drive around and he goes, I should have bought that one. And I say, why didn't we buy that one?
And I'm like,
are you going to say
you?
No, that wasn't me.
There were a couple. Like it was closer to what, when we had kind of finally gotten through the Great Recession. Yeah. We'd finally gotten to the other side. We finally weren't in the midst of going bankrupt. We had positive cash flow. Job was going better. Money was much better. And yeah, she was definitely she had more of the lasting effects from the Great Recession than I did. She had more of those lasting effects, and that's fine. And so it was tough for me because there was one, like the one at the end of Belknap I wanted to buy, and you were like, every single time I drive by there's somebody standing out front smoking, and it's gross. Remember that one right at the end of Belknap, the big 7 unit? Yeah. So she thought that one was gross. So here's what's really, really funny. That building sold for like 600 and change, and that building sold for 600 and change. The guy that bought it ended up being able to create 4 condos right behind it. He got the lot subdivided with 4 condos right behind it. He ended up selling those things and making, oh my word, he made like $400,000 on the condos that he sold. And now the house that shares the same parking lot, the house is still worth, and that building is now worth about $1 million. So yeah, it was like $800,000 in like 9 years on that one building. But
I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I still love her.
Thank God.
But suffice to say, when I go to the house that we own on that street, I take a different route. I don't want to drive past it. I drive around the other way. that one still hurts. I'm just like, ugh. Yeah, because that one was a tough one. Let's see. Chester Williams, it sounds like REI real estate investment had to grow on Ashley because of the mindset shift. Yep. Once it becomes second nature, it's like it was always a part of your life.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, our kids grow up a completely different life than other kids. Mm-hmm. It's completely different. Samuel is our 4-year-old, and now we'll drive a neighborhood, and he's like, Daddy, we should buy that one.
Mhm.
And I was like, why should we buy that one? He said, we should buy it and fix it and rent it and rent it out. I'm just like, oh, I love that. And I was like, and then I will correct him if it's something that we shouldn't. I'm like, no, that's not the right one. And then I tell him why. So yeah, so it's really a lot of fun and kind of become much more of a family thing. Mm-hmm. Evolve Properties LLC has his Lambo house in Lumberjack Landlord has his Lambo house in the works. Mrs. Lumberjack Landlord, do you have a dream that will? I know what the answer is.
Well, no.
Okay, go ahead and answer that.
I want my month tour around Australia.
Australia. Yep.
Yeah, no, yeah. I would think that's it. Like, there's really nothing. I don't know. I think I'm a low-key chick. I'm a pretty low-maintenance, low-key chick. There isn't really anything that I want. No, I pretty much have.
Kind of has a nice house, nice car.
Whatever. It's a minivan. What do you mean? It's a minivan.
It's a really nice minivan. It's nicer than my truck.
Whatever. There's no such thing as a nice minivan. No. I think it's just like experiences when we get older.
Yeah.
Your kids are out of the house, and I'm just like, bye. Head off to college. We won't be here when you come back. I'm just kidding. Yeah. We're traveling.
Yeah, and I think that's true too. And even doing something if they're older. That kind of the flexibility that we have in our lives to go do something different or something more for ourselves is a lot more flexible. We can kind of go do whatever we want. And that's the reason that we did this. That's the reason you give up a little bit of time, right? You give up a little bit of time on a weekend or a frigid cold night where you have to go do a restart, where we used to be like, not it. It's like, but Ashley would go to bed at 9:00, and I'm like, and I would get the call at 10. I'm like, damn it. She always gets lucky going to bed early. So she was a go to bed early person. She requires a significant amount of sleep, and I'm kind of the opposite. That's fine. We just recognize it. We just life, way it goes. So I will definitely do a Lamborghini, and that house, we haven't closed on it yet, but we'll be announcing that. Next week, actually, because I think we close on the property next week. So we'll be announcing the Lamborghini house next week. Very excited. So Evolve Properties come true. Oh yeah. So dream that will come true through future RE investment. Yep. So Australia. Yep, for sure. Chester Williams, Corey Work. Yeah. Yep. So I'd recommend the Dion strategy. Yep. Dion Financial Talk. Yep. It's a good strategy. Yep. Jeremy Kirkwood, love your story. With our family being disciplined that I only work from noon to 3 and involve the kids when I can, is the only way we have found real estate to work. Yep. Nighttime is a strategy. Yeah, for sure. On the daily, I'd say Ash is usually up before me with the kids. Unless one of them, decides that I'm going to be up. Daddy. Oh, yeah. What do you want? Ash is usually up with the kids first. She's usually in bed by 9:30, usually, sometimes 10. 9:30 or 10, she's usually in bed. And then once she goes to bed and we've kind of had our time to catch up about the business, that sort of stuff, and we just spend time together. We'll watch a movie or watch shows that we like to watch. And then she'll go to bed, and then I'll usually work another couple hours, which is, ordering products, setting up the next day, taking a look at the different accounts, just kind of that kind of management piece. I think that's kind of how we kind of manage that. So, So Jeremy, to your point, it's really, what I find is that you need to get better at managing your time. You have to get better at managing your time if you want to do this and build a business. You have to get better at managing your time. You just have to. Now, if you do, there's a massive return on that investment of time. If you don't, then it will be something that starts to pull at the seams of your relationship because it can't always be, well, I was busy building the business. What do you want? Like, Ashley was studying. I used to joke all the time about with how much time Ashley spent studying, I could have a whole nother life. And so I did. Why'd you make the face?
You make it seem like, oh, I mean, it's true.
It was true. Make it seem like, well, it was true. Yeah, she spent a lot of time studying, and I was super proud. Yeah, she was really good at school. She got great grades, and she was, President's Award winner of her college. And that was one of the few moments in our marriage I cried, because that was a complete surprise. I don't think you were expecting it. You didn't know it was coming either.
No.
So that was something that wasn't unveiled until the actual graduation ceremony. And so blew my mind, blew her mind. It was awesome for her to win that award. And, I knew, and it was almost as much mine because, I tried to create the environment where she could do what she was best at. So hopefully that's helpful. Is anybody else getting audio issues? If you are, just let us know. I just saw one come across from Mike Sloan saying that there was an audio issue. I don't know if it's you, Mike. It might be us. But here, we'll put this. You don't have to get closer. We'll just put it closer to you. Yeah. There are crackly issues. Okay. Do you guys never? A little static. Interesting. How about now? Better? Is it better now? Let me know if it's any better.
It's crackly, but not unbearable.
Oh, sorry, guys. We'll try and work on that next time. It's never like that when I normally do it. Nope, it's the same. Well, guys, thanks for the feedback. We'll try and figure that out for next time. Yeah, can't think of anything that's making crackle noises on our side, but we'll look at that. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. That kind of sucks. Well, thanks for sticking with us, even though it's crackly. We'll try and get Ashley her own microphone. That's what we'll do. Yeah. Okay. Angel R. Goat. Thanks, my dude. I woke up from a nap. My subconscious woke me up, said I wouldn't miss this live. Thanks, Angel. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Cassidy Ironman, do you have any advice on picking a CPA? What sorts of services should I be looking for? Any red flags? You go ahead. You first.
No, I don't have any advice.
Oh, okay. I do.
It'd be you.
So accountant that I had that I started with when I was 18 is still my accountant today. That's a mistake. I should have moved on years ago. First thing. Nice guy, decent accountant, but was not prepared for what I had in mind for growth and how I wanted to, blow the business up.
He's not on board with growth.
Yeah. Like every year he complains about, you bought 3 more. Shut up. You're the accountant. Do the math. So, yeah. And the tough thing is that now he stopped complaining because I've told him a couple of times. I was like, I think it's time that we move on. He's like, don't move on. Yeah. Cause we're a pretty big tax bill for him at this point. Selecting a CPA, if I were in your shoes, and this is what we were looking for, that we're, I think, going to change into is did you call those guys?
No, we're drafting the email together.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we are looking for a CPA tax attorney.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking for. And it might be more expensive, but it's fine because I need to be able to have the conversation that says, hey, Matt, based on what you're doing now, you need to spend 20,000 more, 30,000 more this year, or nope, you're maxed out. Don't spend any more. Wait until January to buy whatever. Right. And that's something that we've gotten to the point where we're ready for more kind of forward thinking tax planning. So we have all of our properties in a trust. But where we need to get better from a business perspective is more fine tuning it. So we know when we need to make a spend, not make a spend, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what we kind of keep an eye on. So yeah, so my advice would be a red flag would be if they're not, ask them how many people that they handle that have a bunch of rental property. That would be top of my list. Have them explain to you the concept of a real estate professional. See if they can do that. Have them take you through seller-based financing if they can do that. These are all things that I've learned. I actually had a replacement already set up, and we're not going to use her now. We used her a couple of times on a couple of things, and she didn't do very well. And she's an amazing, I mean, her street cred for being a CPA off the charts. Like, she's a rock star CPA, not for a landlord. It's too much kind of checking the boxes as opposed to really being innovative and being a big thinker and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's kind of that. Yep. I wonder if the crackling is my Fresca. We'll put it way over here and see if that crackling is the issue. So that's what we would say about a CPA. Dion Amy, Matt, how did you celebrate the big wins with your wife? Did you guys go out to dinner? If you take pictures of the property, how did you make it fun? How did we make it? Well, for kind of like the Great Recession, we ate at the dollar menu at McDonald's.
Or slushies.
Or slushies with hot dogs.
Or slushies.
Yeah.
I have a huge sweet tooth if people haven't gathered.
That's true.
I love sweets. Yeah, so we did that. Yeah, I would say, I think for me, my favorite was grabbing a slushie and just driving around our town and just kind of whatever and just being like, oh, we did this. That was always great. And we've always found time that we just celebrated together. So I think even just like catching the one show that we really like together, and just making time like each week that we would do like watch our show. I think that was always just kind of nice that this was our time that we did it. It wasn't work related. We didn't really talk about work during, and yeah, but so during the tough times, that was that. And then as things got better, then yes, we would go out to dinner when we finally close it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I would say we did dinner. Yep.
Yeah, usually a nice dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I think our first vacation, so we've been together for 16 years, married for 14 years. And so the first 5 years of our marriage, we didn't go on a vacation.
Not even a honeymoon.
No. Well, we did go on a honeymoon.
Well, yeah. Okay.
It was local. It was a local honeymoon, and it was less than $1,000. But it took us 5 years, but then it was just like being super aggressive, trying to figure out how we were going to do Vegas on $1,000 or $1,200. And so it took probably 2 weeks to kind of plan that out, how we were going to do Vegas for less than $1,000 or $1,200.
We had a blast.
It was so much fun. Yeah. And we were there for 5 days for $1,200.
It was the best vacation.
Yeah. So we didn't go to any of the nice restaurants. But we still were able to eat out a bunch of places, and yeah, it was a blast. And now we do not only budget $1,000 to go to Vegas. Except we could probably do it cheaper now.
All right, move on.
She doesn't want to hear about how we could do it cheaper, but we can. Frequent flyer miles and M-Life reward points. I'm just saying we should make a game of it. We could do it for like less than $500.
All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, we can't right now.
Yeah, exactly. Not right now, but soon, someday soon. Let's see. So that's how we celebrate. What kind of a minivan? Honda Odyssey. And so true story behind that is we went shopping so I said get a Yukon or a Denali or a whatever, like Escalade, whatever you want.
He said, I'll buy you whatever SUV you want. Are you sure you want a minivan? I said, yes. We're going to get a minivan. We're having more kids. It's easiest to get the car seats in and out. we're getting a minivan.
Yes.
And he dragged his feet and got me a minivan. I dragged him to get a minivan.
So it's sort of true. So we went shopping for a minivan, and then I was like, you know what? That's fine. You pick it. And I shouldn't have let her pick it. I should have got the Pacifica, that new, fast 300 horsepower Pacifica, because the Honda Odyssey is slow.
Do we want to add that as we were picking it, he's like, you pick it. And I said,
yes.
You know, I always pick the wrong car.
Yep.
I never pick the right car.
That's true.
You should pick it because you know more about the cars. I trust you. You pick the car. And you said, no, it doesn't matter. In this case, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
So I don't want you to talk about it.
Yeah, horrible. Angel's right. I think it's probably your phone. So can you just put the volume up and then just put it like over there?
Okay.
Because I think it probably is your phone.
All right. Sorry, everybody.
I know it's not my phone because my phone is so ancient. Yeah. Let us know if that improves it at all. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Hopefully that improves it a little bit.
Everyone.
It's fine. It's fine. Now you hear the dink dinks in the background. They have one of those. What do we have in there?
A hatch light.
A hatch light we have in there for like little music and stuff like that. So, yeah.
I even told them not to pick a song too.
Yeah, we need to change that too. So yeah, that's what kind of minivan. It's a Honda Odyssey. Let's see. What was the biggest hack to grow your guys' portfolio? Angel's always here with really good questions. We get a lot of questions, but Angel, dude, you're a rock star. You always give me good questions because I always have to think about them. So Angel's question was, what was our biggest hack for? It's right.
Yeah,
yeah, for your guys, for what was it? For growing our portfolio?
Yeah, to grow your portfolio.
Yeah, to grow the portfolio. This is why I think your questions are good because I have to think about them. The biggest hack to grow the portfolio. I think house hacking for sure.
Definitely. Okay.
Definitely house hacking was one of the most important elements of the strategy. Second thing was the refinancing.
Yep.
To create our payment for the next house. That worked really well in a growing market.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think you keeping your W-2 job just a little bit longer allowed us to snowball faster.
Yep, 100%. Yep,
you could have been out earlier.
Yep.
But it has helped us grow faster.
Yep. Yeah. Having a reliable W-2 as I grew the business, I would always tell them, I was like, guys, we have a amazing growing real estate business. I self-manage so I can keep my costs very, very low for you. Mm-hmm. So you don't see a bunch of overhead. Yeah. And the third thing is I have a 6-figure W-2 that's a safety net. Mm-hmm. You should probably give me the loan. Right. And that's the conversation with the bank. And thankfully, we're very blessed with amazing, amazing bankers. All right. Then we got through the crackly sound. Only when you speak. No worries. Okay. Now it's still fine. How dare you give him more business? I think that was probably Dion or for Dion. Dion's good, man. Dion, I love working with Dion. He's definitely made my game a little bit sharper in areas that I love working with Dion. I think it's fantastic. And I think that it just is another lesson too, that regardless of size, a lot of times you can learn from other people's processes. And so it's kind of funny because I think, between Dion and Mike, I'm kind of like almost smack dab in the middle. And so, yeah, so I love working with Dion. I'm happy to give him more business. I think he's great. Let's see. Barry Vuong. Hi, coming from Mike's channel for the first live stream. That's awesome. So excited to have you. Sorry if it was covered. Do you recommend one bank account per property? I don't. We have one bank account for properties, and then we have one bank account for security deposits. So that's the only separation and then we have a savings account that's also off of that. And the purpose of that is being able to move funds out of the savings and into the property account if there's some big check that we're going to write, that sort of thing. Or if there's becomes a certain too high of an amount in a checking account where somebody has where we have an access to a check, it's then pulling that into a savings account that only we have access to.
Yeah.
And we only have access to the checking account, but it's much more if we ever got hacked or anything like that. We always we're cognizant of the FDIC 250K rule as well. So yes, so I do not recommend separate ones. And then Angel, I think it's the phone. Yeah, is the crackling any better? Static like background noise. It might be a loose connection. Oh yeah, it could be that too. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We're gonna troubleshoot that further. Let's see. John Doe, you two are such an inspiration for us married investors. Thank you so much. Oh, so glad this is helpful. Any chance the Lambo is over 6,000 pounds? Haha. I don't know what that means. Oh, is the SUV maybe? It's not it's not the Lambo SUV. Nope. It's gonna be it's not gonna be the SUV. So if that's what I think
we have kid cars.
Yeah. No, this is a fun car. This is when Eliana's finished her treatment and everything's all good. This is Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack taking off on a Friday night and going somewhere in the Lambo and dinner and having a night and then waking up the next morning and then driving home.
Yeah.
And when we had our honeymoon, we drove from where we got married, what is about an hour and a half, 2 hours north.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Yes, hour and a half, almost 2 hours north. We did that. We drove north. And then I came down with strep for the first time in my life. And I was obliterated.
Raging fever.
Yeah, like 104.
So freaking high.
It was awful. And so that was the last day of our honeymoon. And so I had to drive home because she didn't know how to drive a stick.
He was like delusional. It was so bad.
I was dying. I was so weak. I could barely push in the clutch. I had to literally adjust the clutch and get the clutch to come further to me. So I had to press on it more lightly. I was fried. It was awful.
It was a bad ride.
Yeah, it was a bad ride for sure. It was horrible. John Doe, my wife and I got married at the courthouse, been married for 15 years, never had a honeymoon. Yep. Hey, so we didn't get married at the courthouse, but we did. But yeah, we didn't really have a real honeymoon. We didn't. We did have a vacation 5 years into our marriage, but our honeymoon was an hour and a half away in a hotel that was literally all we could have. I mean, it was a few $100. Like we could not afford anymore. Andrew P. Matt marrying up for sure. Aww. LOL. This is amazing. Thank you, Andrew P. I mean, she did pretty well.
Oh, I crushed it.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Dion. Hey, Dion. Smash the like buttons. Thanks, Dion. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're on this and find any of this valuable, hit that like button. Especially if you want more Mrs. Lumberjack. For us to do more of these sessions together, which we'll definitely do. I think the mindset change. So Carl Motto Beats. I think that mindset change of not spending so much on wants is the biggest issue for us. Mm-hmm. Love that you still did Vegas on a budget. P.S. Cackling is probably Ashley's awesomeness. It's possible. It's quite possible. Quite possible. It's definitely something from her because it doesn't crackle when I'm here, just by myself. So yeah, I think we had to make a decision of needs versus wants based on not having any money. We went without a lot of needs, for a number of years. We went without a lot of needs. Haircuts. We didn't do haircuts for a long time.
He looks like a werewolf. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Here.
Yes.
Here.
Not the rest.
Don't confuse them. Here.
No.
Yeah. I'm
not
not Sasquatch.
That's not
Yeah.
It is sometimes hard to picture sacrificing what you can have that you want now to have more of it in the future. Sometimes it is hard to kind of realize that real estate has you sacrifice some wants immediately, but you get way more in the future. And I think we hit that point where I guess there were things that I wanted. And then I think after the Great Recession, after we'd done a few properties, we'd had a couple kids, one of my Christmases with him. And I was like, oh, look who's spoiling me this year. And it just like ended up being that we could afford more things. And the things that we do want in the future, we are much more easily able to get it. So
yeah, kind of the rule became if it's under $5,000 and I want it, I have it.
That's why he doesn't get gifts.
I don't get gifts. I said, don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. And largely the things that I want are things for the business. So it's like a battery operated circular saw or things like that just make my life easier. So if I have to go do a snap repair in the field, it's just, that's typically the rule. If it's under $5,000 and I want that, I have it. That's just smart business. Do you see many other women? So Julie Anderson, do you see many other women doing this, or am I an oddity? I have 17 doors. No, I think you're an oddity. Yeah, I think you're an oddity. I think it's important. In fact, Julie, I know exactly who you are. You have a baby laying on an American flag on your Facebook. It's really awesome. I like a lot of your posts. So how about that for a memory? So yeah, I think it's an oddity. I think that I think I've seen, this is going to be offensive. So I guess I apologize in advance. I've seen a lot of people not wanting, a lot of girls that I've talked to about this, or women, girls and women. So girls kind of, college age, where they're just like, yeah, I want to own a bunch of property. I'm like, are you willing to do this? Are you willing to do this? And we willing to do this? No. Well, that's probably going to be an impediment. Because they weren't willing to do the work, And so I think that, so I'm a girl dad. I have a son, but I have two girls. And so Bryn, my 2-year-old, she is far more likely to get her hands dirty and get in there and fix something than my son is. And so that's interesting to see, because I think, we kind of joke about it. Kind of Samuel is a lot like Ashley and Bryn is a lot like me. And so that's something we want to nurture in them. We don't really look at it of, she's going to do a girl's job in the office and he's going to do a boy's job in the field. Like, they're going to do what they're good at. And we're going to foster whatever they enjoy, because I want them to be excellent at something. And so that's whatever that is. Whatever that is, they're going to be excellent at it, because we've been blessed with gifts, talents, and abilities that it's our job to get the most out of them. And so that's where it's going to come down to what we see from our kids. And what we are pushing on our kids to do is that the expectation is you're going to work. The expectation is you're going to be a participant. So I think there's that from a, I think girls doing that is a little bit of an oddity. Which is really funny. So one of the things, and I don't know if there's anything to this, so just give me a little bit of latitude. I was looking at the top 10 brokers for one of the biggest real estate firms in our state. What's really interesting is that real estate agents, it's a female dominated field in New Hampshire. I don't know about other states, but in New Hampshire, it is a significant number, are female agents versus male agents. What's really interesting to me is that in the top 10, there's only one woman in the top 10. I don't know if there's anything to that. It was just something I found interesting. So I don't know if there's something to that. I don't know if there isn't something to that. It's definitely something I kind of want to delve deeper into. I think that maybe it's more personality type. I don't know. I think Bryn's going to be stronger at building the business than Samuel will be.
100%. She'll take it over.
At this
Sam
point,
will burn it to the ground.
Don't say that. This is on the internet forever.
Sam, I love you. But your sister's aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, Bren's aggressive, I think, but I think that they could be a happy balance. Like, I think Sam could be kind of like reining her in a little bit. And like, hey, we don't need to build, a 100-story building, downtown. So we'll see. But yeah, I think you are an oddity at 17. So 17 doors, you're an oddity, period. Forget about girl or boy or man or woman. You're an oddity, period. You're, different, period. One rental. There he is. Michael Zuber making an appearance. One rental at a time. The two lumberjacks. Thanks, Michael. Let's see. Alvaro Vargas. Around how much were you making, and what was your monthly mortgage payment on your first property? I was making just into the six figures, and I think my first property was like that I was hacking was like $2,500 a month, and I had a roommate that was paying $1,000 a month in rent. That's what I could afford. So yeah, first property was a condo. It was a house hack. It was about $2,500 a month. My roommate was paying about $1,000, right around there. Chester Williams, both Deanna and Michael Zuber are here. Nice, 100. Yeah, I agree. My three amigos. Gentlemen, I love it. Evolved properties. The CPA conversation reminded me of section 179 of the tax code. You can write off the price of the whole vehicle. One requirement is that the vehicle has to be over 6,000 pounds. Oh, cool. Interesting. I don't think a Lamborghini is. I don't know. Let me check. 1 second. That's a really important thing that you brought up, Evolve. So give me just one moment.
Is my Odyssey over 6,000 pounds?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because that's used for business.
That is. Yeah, that Lamborghini is nowhere close to 6,000 pounds. It's 3,600 pounds. Nice try, Evolve. A for effort. Appreciate that. So Kedma Wentz official. Kedma, great. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate that. I'm glad to meet you and Zuber and Dion, learning how to get great deals. Blessed to have the hubby fully on board with the ORAT plan. Awesome. Can't go wrong with that plan. We talk about it all the time. It's really, really a great, opportunity for the family to get involved and do that course together. I would fully recommend that, because you don't want, especially when you're going through the course, having a study mate. I didn't have that with Ashley. It would have been nice had I had that with Ashley, because I wouldn't then have had to taken that time away and then go and explain it to her. We could have been kind of going through that together. So the most that we could do together was I would do all the work, and then we would go out and go through it together.
Yep.
So that's the thing. So that's awesome. One rental at a time. Had to come for Ashley. How nice, Michael.
Thank you.
Still waiting for that Olivia interview. Alvaro Vargas. I currently own one rental here in Washington, but due to high prices, I'm debating moving back instead of buying my second one. Yeah, I think that, if you want to, it brings in a whole myriad of other thoughts, right? I think life is really what dictates for us. We picked a market. We knew we were going to be here. We had roots here. We had family here. We knew we were going to be here. Mm-hmm. And so for us, there was never a question of if we were going to move. For us, it was always much more, when we get to that financial freedom, when we get to financial independence, we'll go kind of wherever we want at that point. And we'll have, where we spend the winter months here suck. They're horrible. It's, 100 inches of snow. It's freezing cold. And with kids that like to lollygag, it's like, let's go. So it's slow, and it's like, you're freezing me. Like, let's go.
It's like herding snails.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like Moses with the Israelites. It's like, let's go. Let's move it. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just buy another home in the market that we want to be in. And that's, for us, that's Vegas. I've been watching Vegas for years. And right when we were about to pull the trigger, I was like, it started moving really fast, really aggressively. And I was like, it's just not the right time. And it's continued to do that. But, Vegas does this. And so I'm saying that it's probably closer to here than it is to the middle. And so just like anything else, we'll just wait it out. In that particular market, when you're buying a second home, I think there's going to be some turnover when the market starts to collapse, people selling some second homes. I think that's going to start to make a difference. My wife keeps on touching my leg because I think she's falling asleep.
No.
Lies. All lies.
If I was falling asleep, you'd know it.
Yeah. We're just going to go a little bit longer. All right.
No. Great.
Oh, fantastic. Let's see. Barry Vaughn, thanks for the tips and thanks for pronouncing my last name correctly. A rare occurrence. Thank you very much. I don't know what nationality you are, so I won't profess to know, but we actually have, we work with a lot of Vietnamese. Yeah, Vietnamese. We work with a lot of Vietnamese, and so maybe you're Vietnamese. But like Nguyen or Wen, that one threw me for a loop for a long time. I won't lie. Nguyen, Wen. Yeah. So I appreciate that. We try. Angel R, it's hard to find a humble lady in this social media society. Great couple. God bless you both always. Thanks. Yeah, it is. It very much is. God definitely pulled a joke on us when he kind of put us together.
Totally.
Because yeah, that was something that was just completely out of left field, where it was just like, we knew it had to be a God thing because it was just not.
Wasn't going to happen.
Nope. But thankful she and I listened. So yeah, very grateful. Kedma Wentz official. Yep. Getting it done without any increase of income in over a decade on my husband's side and 4 years for me. Yep. Steady paycheck helped, but keeping living expenses low to meet the goal.
Yes.
Kedma, it's exactly right. So I always say there's a board of knobs and levers. And one of the most important ones that you can have is controlling your costs. That's the part that you can control the most, is your costs. So bravo to you and to your husband. Yeah. That's huge. That's a big help. Let's see. Tiffany White, I helped my tenant get a contract on our property today. Awesome. I'm a realtor. And once they moved out of the rental, I can up the rent $400 per month. This tenant stayed for 5 years. So the rent is lower than market. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome, A, to be able to help somebody, kind of get their property. But B, you completely understand what we were talking about when it was just kind of like we looked at each other and it was like, okay, cool. They denied the next rent increase. They're out. Because literally that rent on that unit is actually going to, I got the number totally wrong. That number is going to almost double. It's going from $1,650 to $2,950. And I was only bumping them to 1,900 and they freaked. 18. Or 18. Yeah. So yeah, I was just trying to be nice and let them stay, but should have done the right thing. Should have pushed further and gone up a lot more faster. So Julie Anderson, lots of 12-hour days for me. Yep. That's 100% it. Ashley, when she was nursing, she worked at a hospital that was 12-hour days. And that was tough. That was tough because that would crush her. Like that was a really, really long day. That extra 4 hours felt like an extra 8 hours for sure. Especially when you're doing that.
Especially if you're doing nights.
Yeah. She was doing nights too. So, yep. So yeah, she would leave at like 6 o'clock. So that was the nice thing when she was working nights, was when she would, for those 3 nights, she would leave at 6 o'clock. And so when she would leave at 6 o'clock, we would have dinner together between 5 and 6. And then after 6 o'clock, it was real estate palooza in my house. I'd look on it. I mean, I'd spend so much time poring over stuff because I had the time. There was nothing else that I could do. It was literally nothing else to do. True story. Tesla Model Plaid, maybe over 6,000 pounds, 1.80 to 60. Yeah, but it's a Tesla. I like Elon Musk. And I like EVs, and definitely the accelerations there, but that car handles nothing like a Lamborghini. That I promise you, nothing like a Lamborghini. And it's about that handling. Yeah, it's not just 0 to 60. It's how it handles. Yep. and how it feels. I've driven a Tesla, and it was
All right, move on.
pedestrian. But they're nice. They're nice as daily drivers. And if you want EV credits. Mike's solution, just buy 2 Lamborghinis, his and hers.
I wouldn't even know what to do with
She
it.
can't drive a stick.
Like, even if I learned, I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
only
that fancy.
And we only have a 3-car garage.
I'm not
I mean,
that
it's a good
fancy.
idea, Mike, but I'm not buying 2. I'm buying a Lamborghini house. The house is going to pay for the Lamborghini. Can't buy 2. Jeez, Mike. Chester Williams, as far as process setup, what KPI or metric would you recommend focusing on for new investors? Cash flow. That's the one that I would look at the most, is cash flow. Yep. I would look at cash flow. Some of the other nice things to see are the things that are really expensive to repair. So I get giddy on a deal that we're just about to close, where the furnace is 3 years old. The roof is less than 5 years old. And what was the other big thing that they did? Roof, heat, and the electrical had already been upgraded. So there's nothing big that if I ever decide that I want to gut and redo that house, nothing that I'm going to need to do, there on that property. And so that saves me, that roof is probably $12,000. The heating system is probably $10,000 to $12,000. So yeah, it saves me. The electrical is, aside from getting in all the walls, it'd be expensive. So yeah, I save myself $40,000 when I go to upgrade anything. I'd say the stuff that I like seeing is having to redo kitchens, because kitchens for me are easy. They're really, really easy. We're kind of dialed in. And so we can crush on kitchens. So I like seeing that it needs a kitchen, because that turns off a lot of other investors. And then my other favorite thing,
Cat smell.
cat pee. I love cat pee.
Cat smell.
Yep. Cat pee. Love it. Love it. That's going to turn off like 97% of buyers.
Including this one.
Yep. Yep.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No, not anymore. Because if she walks in and she smells that, she's like, oh, Matt's going to buy this house. Because if it smells like cat pee, I know I can get a good deal on it.
Totally.
Yeah. True story. So the most important KPI is definitely cash flow for sure. Cash flow for sure. And then if you can just look at those other 3 things, like, and how old they are, or how, if they're needing doing, because those are big projects that take out maybe a year's worth of income or 2 years worth of income on a property. Right. So yeah, I think it's important to look at those things specifically and make sure you have the price reflected in that. Yep. Let's see. Chester Williams, totally OT, off topic. What's the most, I never would have guessed that's how you pronounce that, city or town in Massachusetts or the Northeast in general? For me, it was Leominster. Yeah, Leominster. The other one that falls into that bucket is Worcester. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Worcester.
Yeah. Worcester is WORCESTER, isn't it? Or OR?
WOR.
Yeah.
CHESTER.
Yeah, Worcester. Yeah.
Worcester. And it's Worcester.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Leominster. Yep. Yeah, Leominster's. There's a bunch.
Welcome to Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. What's funny is there's a lot of those towns in Mass that are also in New Hampshire, except they're like way far up, like way, way, way far up. Like there's Haverhill. Haverhill. It's just Haverhill. Yeah. So there's a lot of towns like that. And then there's Milan. There's a Milan, New Hampshire, except it's not pronounced Milan. It's Milan, Milan. And people are like, oh, it's Milan. I was like, no, it's Milan. There's a lot of towns like that are kind of funny to hear people. What was the other one? There was another one too.
It's New England.
Yeah. Yep. It's New England, literally.
Really weird. Whatever.
The static noise went away. It was Ashley's phone. See,
Right.
Good call, Angel.
Sorry,
Nailed it.
everyone.
Tiffany White, the first 5 years of investment in my rental was kind of ho-hum. Yep. But now market rent is much higher. Property value is much higher. I just did a cash out refi. Awesome. Plus tax benefits. Great for the self-employed. Tiffany, that's such awesome news. Yeah, that's killer. That's absolutely fantastic. Love hearing that. That's awesome. Do Lambos still have a gated shifter? I don't remember. I don't know if the I don't know if that one.
Let me just step right in and say, no, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know. I have to look. I'm not sure if the model, because I've changed up models a few times and they're kind of muddled together. And I tried not to do any real shopping until I nailed the house. So it was vision, car, nail the house with the finances that can support it. Then it's going to be shop. So yeah. Yep. I spent more time on finding the right property. So yeah, we'll do more of that work for sure. REI trainer. The first town I lived in Massachusetts was Leominster. Yep. Then Ayr, then Acton, then Framingham, then Cambridge, and then Somerville. Then I flew south. Yep. Hardest city pronounces Worcester. Yep. Exactly. Well done for sure. Yep. Yeah. Worcester. See, it doesn't have an H in there. I think he's right. I think it doesn't have an H.
I think actually seeing it written out, it's absolutely correct.
So
there is no H.
Yeah, so I was
correct.
Right. Yeah,
absolutely. Sorry,
everyone. Yes, Chester REI trainer called it. Yep. Don and Bev Perkins. Is there a secret to removing cat pee smell? Is it just removing carpet and deep clean, or is it harder than that? It's harder than that. And for $9,999, I will tell you, I have to recover a couple ones that cost me a fortune to do it.
Yeah, depending on where it is. Sometimes it is just the carpet, like if it hasn't gone into the hardwood. But sometimes if it's in the hardwood, then it is harder than that.
Yeah, almost always they'll spray in corners. And so the best bet is none of the stuff that you see online. It's hydrogen peroxide.
And what was the other thing? Hydrogen peroxide and
just that was what we used. We just bathed it in that.
Baking soda.
Yep.
Hydrogen peroxide and baking soda.
Yep. What it does is that actually soaks into the wood floors and it actually pulls it up, and then you can actually wipe it away. And so do you know when you know you're done? When you can wipe and there's no more cat pee smell. That's when you know you're
when
done.
It's not yellow.
When it's not yellow. We did that. What did we do? 20 treatments in that last apartment?
Yep.
We did 20 treatments in an apartment. 20. Took 4 days. 20 treatments. But yeah. I just saw Angel R, the ozone machine generator. So, and then you can shellac bins, the prime and the subfloors too. But if you have original hardwood floors, like we have in a lot of our buildings, because a lot of them were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, we like to restore those floors and keep them. There isn't, the oil-based, shellac, bins is good if you have a subfloor underneath the carpet. But if it is on hardwood, absolutely hydrogen peroxide pulls it right up. I would still recommend hydrogen peroxiding the floor and then binsing it, because on a really hot, humid summer day, it will actually still come through the bins, believe it or not. We've actually seen that happen. So that's what
that closet in Grove took me for a loop for a long time.
Yep. Yeah, there was one closet where we had a cat lady who had 2 cats, but she would go on the road for a week or two and just leave empty litter boxes behind, and the cats would fill them faster than that. So then they started peeing all over the house. What a nightmare that was. That was such a nightmare.
The first tenant that emailed us and said, "I'm out. Keep my security deposit. Bye." Yeah.
And we were like, huh.
That sounds bad.
Then we stopped by and we're like,
that was bad.
Yep. Yeah, that was tough. How often do you seal your granite countertops? Does it make it hard to do with long-term tenants? Yeah, we seal them. So we have. How
often do you do it?
Oh, how often? Every couple of years, every 3-4 years. We don't do it very often. And we usually will do it,
Maybe every 4.
Yeah, well, we don't do it very often because what we'll usually do is we'll wait for that tenant to leave. So when that tenant leaves, we'll then, do it at that point for sure. Yep. Yeah. Hard to do with long-term tenants. Yeah, for sure. The other thing too is that people will go on vacation, right? So we just coordinate it with them. We had a tub issue at one of our units. We just said, listen, there's a tub issue. You're going to be without it for like 3 days. If you guys go on a weekend trip or anything like that you have coming up in the next month or 2, please just let me know. Or if you can find a place to stay for 3 nights, we guarantee we can have it done in that time. And they said, yeah. And so within like 3 or 4 weeks, they were like, yeah, we can do it on this weekend. Perfect. We set it all up. We did it. We went in there, got it done. They moved back in and things have been okay since. Yep. Angel R, the dehumidifier in one of my furnaces, 23-year-old, is leaking. The lifespan is probably 25 years. Am I better off replacing now or wait until it completely dies? It is a air temp considering a carrier. So I don't know. We don't do a lot of those systems. We don't have, most of our systems are forced hot water. So yeah, most of our systems are forced hot water systems. So we don't do a lot with actual HVAC. And the stuff that we do HVAC on, we have a weekend warrior that does it. And he's done, I think, out of the 90 heat systems that we have, I think 8 of them or 10 of them are forced hot air. And he just manages all of those. It's kind of his thing. If there's an issue, he takes care of it. It's that sort of thing. So I wish I could. That's one of the few things I don't know about heating systems because we just don't deal a whole lot with them.
We just don't have that many.
Yeah, we just don't have. And the ones that we have are brand new. So yeah, so they're certainly not 23 or 25 years old. Yeah. There is a Evolve Properties LLC. There is a Madrid, Maine, but it's pronounced Madrid. Oh. Yeah.
Maine?
Same with Milan. Yeah, it's goofy stuff, right? Alvaro Vargas, appreciate you for doing what you do. Although my $1,000 in cash flow is nice, I will definitely be house hacking my single family home this summer. Instead, I can easily get about $800 and $1,000. And my mortgage payment is only $1,350. Yeah, that's awesome. Like that's what I did. My first one, it was $2,500 and I had a guy paying $1,000 or $1,100. So I was paying $1,500, but I was living in a condo in the city. It was awesome. It was a great experience. And I realized that I never wanted to live in the city again. I was like, it takes 3 hours to go grocery shopping on Sunday in the city. It sucks. And so for Evolve, who was from the Boston area, I lived in Marina Bay. Which was view of the city right in Quincy. It's a town just south of Boston, but you look back at Boston on the skyline and on the bay, hence Marina Bay.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but I hated living there after like a year. It really wore off pretty quickly. Angel R, Don, try an ozone machine generator. Yep, use shellac bins. Yep. So yeah, on the subfloors, that's absolutely right. If you have a subfloor, for sure. On the old wood floors, what's that?
For kitty cats.
Yeah. Yep. For cats. Yes. For cats. Chester Williams. Yep. Donna Beverly Perkins saw one time BP was there called out oil-based kills. Yep. So it would work like a charm. So it works pretty well, but you'll do yourself a world of favors if you use that hydrogen peroxide baking soda mix to pull that stuff up and out. You'll do yourself a world of favors doing that. It's a little bit more work, but you won't have to go back and do it. And the last thing that you're going to want is somebody moving in. You've already put the new flooring down. It didn't work quite as well as you hoped. And on that really humid, disgusting day when it's 85 and 85% humidity, and they're like, oh, what is that smell? Good luck getting it out then, because your only option then, rip up all the floors and then literally sand off all the bins and then still do the hydrogen peroxide. It's, not good. Jeremy Kirkwood, good night all. Love chatting with you guys. Great to have you, Jeremy. 1K pity house renting for $3,600 for 6 months on the 19th. Got to make ready. Yep. Stay strong. Keep doing your thing, Lumberjack. Love the advice on cleaning pee. You're welcome. Cody Evers. If you know you have a roof to replace in about 5 years or less, would you sell and 1031 into a bigger multi and miss the big hit? Same building has a 5-year balloon on it, not a 30-year fixed. I would just do the math based on what the roof is going to cost you to replace. I would understand what that is, because that seems like a lot of work to get out of having to do a roof. It seems like a lot of work, because are there areas of the roof that are completely fine where you can just section in roof and maybe not replace the whole thing? A lot of stuff like that, especially the other thing too is, I think in the next down cycle, when we're looking at the market shifting, and I think there's going to be plenty of contractors with not enough work. I think you're probably heading into the right 5 years where you can probably get a pretty decent deal at replacing that roof for a pretty good price. So I wouldn't, I've never sold a property due to a maintenance issue. No, I've sold properties based on the type of tenants that we consistently got in the building, where it was like, man, every single time we try and rent out this building, I don't know what it is, but we always get the worst of the worst. Yeah. So we got rid of those. We got rid of both those properties. Yep. So yeah, hopefully that helps, Cody. Yeah, I wouldn't run. Yep. Angel R, do you guys still allow cats? We actually do. Yep. It's much more the person than it is the pet. Yeah. It's much more the person is the pet. Absolutely. We have some people that have pets that have, that the cat's 8, 9 years old. It's fine. Like, that's fine. We asked the old landlord, can you tell us about the cat? And we actually asked what color the cat is. Believe it or not, I'll ask what color the cat is. That way I know they're not sneaking in another cat. So we'll find that out. So yeah, we still allow cats, but great question. Don and Bev Perfect. Yeah, if they say keep the security deposit, I'm out. That's scary. Yeah, it is. It was. And for us, that was a house that was the first house that I bought in my new market. And that was a house that Ashley thought she was going to move into when we got married. And so we loved that.
I thought was going to be our honeymoon house.
Yeah, we both loved that house. And so that was really hard to take because it was, that house was built in 1880. And so those were original 1880 fir wood floors. They were gorgeous. They were absolutely gorgeous. So that one was a tough one to take for sure.
I cried.
Yeah, we both did. That was horrible. That was the worst.
Up.
Yep.
It was fine.
Julie Anderson, why granite and not quartz? I don't like quartz only because less used product and less elaborate so far from what I've seen. I picked a stone that I've used consistently for 3 years. I buy it in bulk. It's rare. It's different. We always get comments on the kitchen. If you're wondering what that looks like, Julie, look at the video I did on my channel. Amazing Lumberjack Project, I think is what it was called. But you can see that kitchen that actually has the same backsplash and counters that we put in all of our stuff. But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Came out awesome. Yep.
I want that kitchen.
Yeah. Ashley still loves that. We actually both, there are things about that house we love more than the house that we're in because we didn't build the house or do the house that we were in. So yeah. We'll go 13 more minutes. 13 more minutes. So that's why granite, not quartz. No code on. Dawn. Hey, oh yeah. Totally forgot you guys were going to be on tonight. Here we are. Don's an old hat at this, though, so you don't need to get your wife on board. She's already on board. You're talking building projects, which is a big step. Oh, big step. Yeah, big step. And this was Don's second wind. He's done this for a bunch. He's done it a bunch before.
Nice.
And so, yeah. So it good. Yeah. She doesn't want to be a builder. I don't want to be a builder either. Honestly, it's not my thing. I like rehab. REI trainer. An AC guy told me Goodman is one of the best AC units. American-made parts, last a long time, and generally inexpensive. Any knowledge or experience, or what do you recommend? So that's a great question on Goodman. I don't know about that. So we use all York. Everything that we use is York. Yep. Everything we use is York. So the reason that we use York is because we can buy the parts that fail on that. So there's only 2 or 3 parts on those systems that fail. We can buy them. We have 3 or 4 of them standing by. which is really nice. That way, if we ever go down, like the guy can literally just show up. He has the part in hand. Like it's an igniter, and I forget a couple of the other things that he has. But yeah, so we use York. Everything that we have installed is York. We just did 2 Yorks. We did 3 of them last year. We just did 2 of them this year in 21. And I don't think there's any more forced hot air systems coming. And we always do when we have the ductwork, we always add AC. So we always add the condenser and such on. And then, like I said, that's all York, all a York system. They worked really well. We had them in our personal house, the last house that we were in. In fact, here's York too, aren't they?
I don't know.
I think here's York too in our house here. So yeah, in our area, York is a really big brand and really good. And we've never had an issue. The only issue we ever had was when the landscaper took one out with the bucket on his excavator.
It didn't survive. Yeah,
it didn't survive. He literally ripped it off the house.
An excavator.
He did a swing and ripped it right off the house. He's like, "Sorry." I was like, "It's okay. I'll send you the bill." So yeah, I don't know anything about Goodman, but yeah, York is everything that we use. Alvaro Vargas, the killer part about it all, I will keep my equity if I live in it for 5 years. If all goes well with the housing market, I could potentially have about 300 to 400K in equity by then. So that's awesome, but we never recommend doing something based on property appreciation. It's impossible to tell. It's impossible to know what the market's going to do. It's impossible to game plan and scenario that out because there's way too many variables. Our lovable jackass from another one of the channels that I actually watch actually was talking today about how Jerome Powell is going to cause a 50% decline in certain markets in the U.S. in 2022. You will see my reaction video to that tomorrow because I'm absolutely apoplectic in watching. Oh my word, just blood was shooting out of my eyeballs. I couldn't finish the video. I had to do it was 2 sessions. And the video is 13 minutes long. I couldn't make it through because I'm just like, this guy is such a bonehead. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, just brutal. Cody Evers, thank you. You have both been awesome tonight. Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. Matt Motley, good evening. Hey, Matt. I want to talk about this. You're late. Ignore Amy. I appreciate my husband. Tell me about this business. I'm very new about everything. Thanks, you guys, for telling us how to start. Happy to. Yeah, great job. Do Mike Zuber's One Rental at a Time course. Do that together. Spend that time together. Get the same knowledge. Be able to answer each other's questions. Iron sharpens iron. And so you guys are well on your way to a phenomenal, phenomenal experience together, for sure. Dawn, it's all your fault. It kind of is. It really kind of is. Yeah, I know Zuber and Dion kind of pulled the cord. I get it. So I'm sorry, but you're welcome because you're going to make a lot of money doing this, especially with that property. He's got like a plot of land where he's got multiple 4 units that he can build, which is like,
you told me
yeah,
this.
where it's like, we can't do that here. That's just not a thing here where we are in New England. So that's awesome for you. R.R. Chiner, thanks for the advice on the AC. I'll check them out. Sorry to hear about the accident with yours. Yeah, it was really actually funny. We were cracking up. I was just like, I literally had to send. And the funny thing was, how old was it? It was it was a month old.
Yeah, it was a
month old. I was mortified. And when I had to send it to my AC guy, who's like an artiste with how he does his line sets and how he sets them up on blocks and how everything's so pretty and perfect. And he's like,
it was just gone.
Ripped off the house. I just sent a picture. He goes, "What the hell is that?"
I think the other one got dented.
It did, yeah. So the guy that does that work for us, his name is Dan, and we call him Diva Dan for that reason exactly, because he's like over the top about what his installs look like. So I love his pride and workmanship, but we definitely tease him about it for sure.
It was funny though.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Julie Anderson, thank you both for giving us knowledge. Oh, happy to do it. That was Julie who owns 17 doors. Yep. Don, trying to say goodbye to everyone here in Colorado, heading back to Arizona Monday. Buying my first house hack 4-plex in Arizona when I get back. That's awesome. Congratulations, Don. And I don't know that I don't know, is it OfferPad or whatever it is, but there's some company out there that's got a big chunk of the market. I think it's all single family, but I know they're trying to move out of a lot of their stuff. So yeah, might be an opportunity. Don and Bev Perkins, 50% now. OMG, he's getting crazier with the all-time record for any town for single years. Yeah. The numbers he's ridiculous. No market is going to fall 50% in a year. I'll bet him 10 grand. No market's going to fall 50% in a year. That's moronic. It's moronic. That's just dumb. No market is going to fall 50% in a year. That's just dumb. And if he believes it, bet me 10 grand. Deal? Like, it just bothers me. Yeah, so bothers me. Yeah, don't like it. Charts and graphs, and he talks about, the cost of things. It's just, yeah. Donovan Perkins, he's definitely trying to build a brand around that. Oh yeah, sure. I Googled worst housing crazy in any city ever, and his website comes up. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, he's the fear monger. The issue that I have is that I have people showing up on my channel saying I didn't buy because I watched this guy. They missed out on 20% plus growth this year. They're going to miss out on growth next year. Like, just bad. So we'll keep on being here trying to fight the power. Although 40 likes is not going to get there. A live stream of about 40 or so. That was pretty good. That was a lot. That was fun. He had 1,300 people watching his garbage. Blech. GVR, do you ever treat your tenants with Christmas gifts? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Not all of them, but certain ones, absolutely. Yep. Ones that we know that there are tenants that will fix some things, like not outlandish, but we know some people that will fix some things. We know people that are patient when they say, hey, can we get X, Y, or Z? And we ordered it. It's COVID. Sometimes it takes 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And so they're reasonable. And so it's like we had one tenant where she was a horrible tenant. She just got evicted, and we did 2 bottles of wine for them.
Okay, we had tenants that lived above the horrible tenant.
Yeah.
You said the horrible tenant. Yeah, we had tenants lived above the horrible tenant, and they were so patient and so gracious the whole time. And so we bought them 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because they were super patient. They knew there was nothing we could do. They didn't complain about the noise that they made all the time, and we knew that they were noisy tenants. And so, yeah, I mean, they were a blessing to us, and we just want to bless them back because so we do Christmas gifts for some folks.
Conversely, we have been invited to crazy things. We've been invited to a lot of birthday parties.
Yes.
Baby showers.
Yes. Yep. We get invited to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
More stuff from our tenants than our family, and that's kind of okay. I like more of our tenants.
Yeah. We've got good ones.
Yeah. So yeah, we're blessed. Yeah. Dion Amy, yes, my wife from the Dominican Republic. Everything is new in the USA. Well, welcome. Super excited to have you here, and it'll be great. Do the journey together. You guys will have a blast.
Yes.
Don and Bev Perkins. Yeah, I feel bad for those who listen to him. Yep. At some point, he'll be right there. Will be a crash, but can't imagine he'll be right on the volume, and it's likely years away. He's not. I mean. Yeah, he's not going to be right unless, but we haven't finished going up yet, right? So unless he's talking about, like, there's going to be a 40-year mortgage, there's going to be down payment assistance, there's going to be all of these things that he's not accounting for. Wage inflation is going to far outpace property prices. So yeah, it bothers me because he's saying it like it's factual and like it's going to happen. He was watching the Muppets when the Great Recession happened. So I don't want to hear it. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just absurdity. I was buying real estate in the Great Recession, and I owned stuff going into the Great Recession, and I managed through it. And so, you know what? If you don't have experience, if you haven't done it, then just keep your mouth shut. Just, I don't give opinions based on stuff I don't know. So yeah, that guy chaps me because he is literally stealing people's financial freedom. And he just doesn't even think about it because it's all about him. It's about his clicks. It's about his channel. It's about, tickling people's ears and telling them what they want to hear. Like, there's a bunch of those crash jokers out there. And I feel bad. I feel bad. So yeah, I'm with you. Don. Cody Evers, if you're looking for somebody with great or good graphs and data, Dave Meyer. Yep, I've seen Dave. Yep, from BP. Yep, Bigger Pockets puts out great stuff. Yeah, I agree with you. Yep, Dave. He's solid. Honestly, right now, I think the channel that we watch the most together is probably Mark Kohler. Is probably the tax CPA. He's probably the guy that we watch the most. For me, I watch a decent amount. I watch a decent amount of Mike Zuber, one rental at a time. I watch a decent amount of him.
Who's he?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's got a purple hat or purple house on a black hat.
Really
yeah, so we watch Mike. Grant Cardone. I watch a decent amount of Grant Cardone stuff. Just because I want to know what's going on with the large multifamily. I'm not there. I find him far more valuable than Kent McElroy. I'm not a fan of Ken's. I think that he's jumped the shark. So I'm not a fan of his. But yeah, definitely Grant. Who else? Yeah, Grant, Mike, Dave, Dion. Oh, I watched Dion. I do watch a decent amount of Dion. I'm not there for all of his live streams, but a number of them. So they're good. But yeah, watch Dion too. Yeah, Dion's good. REI trainer. I like Mark Kohler, a client myself. Have you listened to, oh, cool. Anderson Advisors. Yeah, I definitely have heard Anderson Advisors for sure. How do you like being a client of Mark's? Is it expensive? I can only imagine how expensive that must be. But yeah, he's a brilliant guy. I love watching him. He's hilarious, very slapsticky and fun about it. And, yeah, he's a good time. I like him a lot. Don, is this a permanent thing or just a one-time shot with the two of you? We always hear how great you and Ashley are. We always hear how great you are, Ashley, as a wife and mother. Yes, that's true. I say that a lot. So yeah, we'll probably do it regularly, maybe a couple times a month now. It really depends on Eliana's.
The kids.
Yeah, the Eliana's chemo schedule. So it depends more on that. But that's why we kind of did it Thursday nights at 8, is because usually her stays in the hospital are Monday and Tuesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or the longer ones are Monday through Thursday, and then comes home either Thursday night or Friday morning. Yeah. So yeah, that's why we kind of shot for this. So yeah, we'll probably do it again. I will definitely do it again. Yes. Don, leaves more stuff for us to buy to do the work. Exactly. And that's what I tell people. I'm just like, yeah, run for the hills, everybody. Run for the hills. It's horrible. It's the worst. Like I'm talking the opposite of my book. My book is, yeah, don't buy. I'll buy it. That's fine. I prefer less competition. In my market on that last deal that I just did, there were nine offers, all ask or over. And we won, and we had the third highest offer. We weren't even the highest. We had the third highest. Yeah. Let's see. Cody Evers, what does Mark Kohler talk about on his channel? What's his niche? Tax attorney, CPA and tax attorney. That's his thing. CPA and tax attorney. And like bulletproof. Like we've probably watched how many hours of his stuff?
Oh, I don't even know now.
Probably Ashley's probably watched with me probably 20 or 30 hours. I've probably watched another 20 or 30 by myself. So we're probably 60 hours into what and that was over just the last, I think I only found him like 3 months ago, maybe October, November, December. Yeah. So probably only found him like October. So we watched a lot of his stuff because that's kind of the direction that we want to go. 2 months. Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely more of what we're looking for. So that's his thing, Cody. They're reasonable considering the caliber of expertise. Their paralegals are on top of things for sure. REI trainer, that's a great recommendation. Really appreciate that. Kedmo once official. Love to watch Mark. Yep, consider hiring, but afraid of the bill. Yeah, we'll ask anyway. We're with you, Kedmo. We're with you. Yeah. Watch more of the three amigos together and separately for the greater part of this year. Great content. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I'm so thrilled that, Mike was really cool about that and Dion was cool about that. It was kind of horning in on Dion's time. And so when we kind of had discussed it, I was super thrilled that the guys were willing to do it. But yeah, it's been a blast working with them. I watch Economic Ninja a lot. He is faster than all the news channels. Yeah. So Hip Hop Silver. Yeah. So I agree with you. I just disagree with a lot of his, a number of his finer points. He's an anti-real estate guy. He really is. From the stuff that I've seen, I've watched a decent amount of his stuff because in the beginning he wasn't so much. Now he really is, and he's crash, and silver and crypto and blah 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 blah. And so I watch him for kind of a contrarian view. Believe it or not, I actually watch stuff that makes my blood boil a little bit, just because I want the contrarian view and make sure that I'm not missing something. So I think he's a nice guy. But I think he's completely wrong on real estate. I think he's just wrong. I think he's wrong. Even if the market corrects 20%, I don't care. I'll buy more. It's about cash flow. When I'm not looking for appreciation, I'm looking for cash flow. And I know of, between programs and housing authorities, I know just in my 3 markets, there's 140 units that are needed. So if I ever can't get it free market rented, I can get it rented to one of those programs that's slightly less than what the market is. But that's because I'm not doing single family homes, because I'm doing dupes, tries, and quads. That's just a matter of, am I 15%, 20%, or 25% income? So that's kind of what I thought. Understandably, probably over leveraged once upon a time. Yeah, Hip Hop Silver, you nailed it. You got it exactly right. He way over leveraged in the crash. He way over leveraged. And when he sold at the wrong time. So much like stocks, that's why I don't discourage people from stocks, right? I don't know the game. I was in the game, got my butt kicked, got into real estate, and I've crushed it. And so I don't talk about stocks. What I talk about is what dividend, i.e. rent on a monthly basis, what dividend are you getting? And I get a dividend every month. And my asset may or may not go up. So the stock price may or may not go up, but my dividend does. And over a 10-year period where there's going to be a lot of inflation, we're looking pretty good. Do you have a fixed, so GVR, do you have a fixed agenda for spousal meetings and set periodic meeting times? So we're going to do 8:00 on Thursdays, and no agenda. We just want to answer questions. So we'll just answer questions. If there's something that somebody wants us to cover, when the meeting finishes, just put it in the questions underneath, because the chat doesn't really stay. So just enter the questions into the question section, and then we'll kind of look at that to formulate what some of the things that we'll talk about for the next show. We're cool to do that.
We can talk about some of my biggest blunders.
Julie Anderson, I got my kids crypto for Christmas. Cool. That's awesome. I think that getting kids to understand what crypto is, I think that getting kids to understand what crypto is, getting them to understand investing. I think that financial literacy, whether it's stock market or housing, I think that's all really important, because I think there's certain attitudes and mindsets that can be created when it comes to investing. And the stock market's not a loser for everybody. Plenty of winners there, tons of winners. For me, I just feel better about real estate. I'm better at it. I can't. I've seen too many times where hush numbers and things like that, because the guys on Wall Street, I knew guys on Wall Street. One of the companies I worked for had offices on Wall Street, and I would hear all the stories all the time. And a week later it would come true, and you're like, golly, and it was like, you heard that, but you didn't know enough about it. And so I just think that unless you're on Wall Street and you're hearing all the buzz and seeing people and what's going on, I just think that you're dealing from a behind position, and I don't like that piece of it. So that's kind of it for me. REI trainer, LOL. I force myself to listen to people I disagree with too. You learn a lot about your blind spots by hearing different perspectives, for sure. Very humbling. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I know that there's, so Johnny Bravo, right? I watch Johnny Bravo. He's kind of annoying sometimes. He's a pretty good teacher. I understand trading. Looks like he's a pretty good trading teacher. Totally not for me, but I still watch him, and he thinks real estate's crap. Like, he's all about stock market. But but yeah, I still watch like, so yeah, Johnny Bravo, even Meet Kevin is more of, he's not really so much real estate as much as he is investing now. Let's see. GVR, personal between you both. GVR, do you have a fixed agenda, meeting times, and set periodic meetings? Oh, personal between us. I get it now. He's asking if we have like set meetings where we sit down and discuss stuff.
Oh,
No.
Well, really, it used to be
Thursday
Thursdays.
nights.
Thursdays. Yeah. So it used to
Yeah.
be Thursday before Eliana got diagnosed, and we were kind of going through that whole whirlwind. Every Thursday night, we sat down and we went through all our we went through everything. Yeah. So it was Thursdays. And then when Ellie got diagnosed, we've kind of had to make it variable. Let's just say.
A lot of times now it's, Ashley as being kind of the real estate professional, it's like, I'll send her an email on something. I'll forward something over to her. She's on for property management. She's on all of the texts.
Yes.
And so she'll see it, she'll respond to it, or something will come in. We'll be like, what do you think we should do there? We'll talk about it real quick. And then she, goes and takes care of it, calls the plumber or whatever that issue might be.
Yeah.
Or gets back to him and says, this is what the time frame is going to be, or I talk with her about it. So yeah, that's kind of that's kind of how we do it now. So yeah, there was that time. Now there isn't. But now it's just kind of emails back and forth to each other and like, hey, can you do this? Or like, she worked on a spreadsheet last night for like hour and a half, 2 hours that I then took it and I sent it on to the banker.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Yeah. Don and Bev Perkins. That's what we love about real estate. It doesn't feel like it's rigged and you are earning subpar returns as a little guy. Yeah, like that's kind of it for us. And we started off as a little guy. Now we're probably one of the bigger ones in our market.
Yeah.
And so now I think probably our most proud moment this year from a business perspective is we got big enough to ask the bank to create a product for us, and they did. So that's just a huge win for us in the product that they created. The bank listened to us and just, really, really blessed that they were able to do that. It was really, really, really good. Hip Harp Silver, Long Neck Turtle Club, 17 single homes paid for, good retirement. And since my wife retired, we flip one a year. Oh, cool. I suppose I will never retire from rentals. Yeah, we'll get that feeling. Ashley should hear that there's other people that do that too. Cause I think that for us, we kind of talk about how big is too big. She's not stopping it at all. She's kind of like, yeah, it's cool. But we talk about that all the time. Like, when are we going to stop? Like that used to be a question a lot that she would ask in the beginning.
Oh,
she would ask that all the time. She's like, when are we going to
time.
stop? When are we going to stop? When are we going to stop?
Isn't it going to be enough?
Yeah. When is it going to be enough? And it was like, I'm the one that has to keep on working at W2. So I'll kind of make more of a decision there and we'll talk through it together, because that was the tough thing is she didn't have to work a W2. And so it was like, for me, it was like, I don't want to do a W2 anymore. I don't want to grind anymore. I want to stop. And I'm in high tech, I'm in sales. And that's what makes it really hard is you live your life one quarter at a time. So it gets exhausting. So yeah, Hip Harp Silver. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that we'll never get out of the game because you never want to lose kind of those skills. And then you cultivate all those relationships and then you cultivate all those opportunities. For the first time in a long time, a deal came my way that's actually a really good deal that I said no to. And I'm like, I imagine later on in life, I'll say no to more deals.
I didn't say no to it.
Nope, she said no. I said no.
Okay.
Yep. I don't even think she knows what deal I said no to.
I know you said no to one on Silver Street that has been your Cushing.
Cushing, yeah.
Cushing,
that was one, but it was another one.
Oh.
Yeah. There's this one street in our city. And this one street in our city, I've missed 4 deals. So there's only 20 homes on this street. And there's been 4 deals on that street in the last 10 years. And I've missed on all of them. And it was just one reason or another. And it was just like, you gotta be kidding me.
That wasn't me.
No, it wasn't her.
That wasn't me.
Was one of them you?
Nope.
The one in the corner?
Nope.
No.
Definitely not.
But yeah, there were 4 there.
100% no.
Yeah, there were 4 there. Mr. Lumberjack, what do you sell if you don't mind sharing? I'm in mortgage IT myself. Oh, cool. So I sell automation software. That's what I sell in healthcare specifically. How long, survive it for beginner. How long was it between rental number 1 and number 2? So the first house so the condo house hack to then to a house was a couple years. The house by itself and then by my first 3 unit was was maybe I was there for 6 months, and then the next one 3 unit to the next 3 unit was probably 4 months, 3 or 4 months. So they were pretty tight together once I got going. Yeah, once I got going. Yep. REI trainer. Oh, cool. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And I've been in that space, REI, for 15 years. So, yep. It's been fun. It's been a great ride. Been a lot of fun. Made a lot of money. Had a lot of success. And someday soon, no longer. So, all right. Well, we're not trying to break any records. So, guys, we appreciate all of your time. Last one. So, if I wanted to pick your brain, how would I do so? I don't want to reinvent the wheel, and I don't want to skip the trial and error on products. Don, we're trying to figure out kind of like a consulting thing, just because there's so little free time. And I know that whatever anybody spends time and money with us is going to get a massive return on it. And so we're just trying to price it properly. So I'm still figuring that out. So my email is lumberjacklandlord@gmail.com. So send me an email and I'll see if I can figure something out. So yeah, lumberjacklandlord@gmail.com. Angel R, thank you. You're welcome, Angel. Hip Harp 1 Silver, pick the brain on the 3 amigos. Yeah, we did that one live stream. Live streams are going to be tough with that group just because Mike doesn't do anything after he doesn't do anything after 2:00 Pacific time. So that's what makes that one tough. Yep. Dion, Financial Talk Freedom. Oh, Dion's still here. What a good dude. Thank you. You're welcome, Dion. REI trainer, thank you both for such an amazing evening. You've so blessed so much of us. Thank you for all your time you share. Okay. You're very welcome. Happy to do it. Thank you both for your time. Yeah, happy to do it. Guys, this was a lot of fun. Did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
had
tired.
A lot of fun.
Yep. It's 10:16. Holy cow. She's not turned into a pumpkin or a plaid pumpkin.
Can be done.
I got an extra 16 minutes out of Ashley. Right. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hit the like button if you haven't already done it. I'm glad this was great. It was a lot of fun. If you are agents or trainers or spending time talking people into real estate, send them to the show because I want them to get Ashley's perspective. You can see me, you can see Mike, you can see Dion. What you can't get is the dynamic conversation between the two of us where we can kind of talk through it. And so we really want to help people. So please send them to the channel. 8:00 Thursdays, 8:00 Thursdays, 8 p.m. on Thursdays is when we're going to be doing these. We'll probably do one next week because it's not Christmas yet, and then probably one the following week, and then January we'll look at and see how that did. So we'll try and go kind of that path. But yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. Guys, thanks so much for all your time. This is Lumberjack.
It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your evening, a great week, and a great weekend. And you'll see videos tomorrow, myself and Mike. And you'll see the live stream Sunday at 11:30 a.m. He's Hip Hop Silver, great. Ashley, hang in there. See you at the top. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.